All right, weird amount of time. I'm checking into an Airbnb in like an hour, 10 minutes. So I'm having this cigar in the WinCo parking garage, WinCo parking lot. WinCo's right over there. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna get some food for the this Airbnb reservation. Thought I would go over goals. I meant to do this, you know, ideally after like 6 months of the year, but that's when I was dealing. So I had that series of dealing videos, and now I'm gonna go over some goals, see where I am, an update on the goals I had this year. Link at the top if you want to watch the original goals video that I filmed in New York in January. First one is hours, and this is a goal and also a viewer request. A viewer very early in the year asked me to give an hours update after May. So first 4 full months, February through May. The viewer wanted me to be at 1,000 hours. That was gonna be very unlikely. 250 a month is tough without anything else going on. 250 with all the other things I'm doing, very tough. My goal though was 190 per month, 190 hours per month. I was there after February, which is a short month, and then it fell off. I do think it's unfair to count May as a full month because it was the 26th that the Orleans series started. So that's like about 20% of the month I was dealing, not playing. So if we count May as 0.8 months, so February is 1, March is 1, April is 1, May is 0.8. The average was 144 hours per month. So it's actually fairly solid. My parents were in the area, so there was like a week in March I didn't play. I think I also took a week off in April. And yeah, February was a lot, and then May through the May 25th was fairly solid. So like another hour a day would have been like, still not quite what I needed to be at 190 a month, but it wasn't much more than an hour a day I needed, which yeah, every single day, you know, that adds up. That is tough, but the hours are out there. So that one, not there, and likely too much to overcome at this point, but at the end of the year, I will do another one of these videos, and we'll see where I am. Next goal was environmental, not use any of the liners in the hotel rooms, not use any bags at supermarkets. I have not used any liners in the hotel room. Even when I was with my parents, I made sure they weren't. Even when Herbs and Rye has been around, we were in that same house March Madness weekend. Made sure he didn't also. So no liners in the hotel rooms. Used a few bags, not up to me, but a few times just the clerk in the store was just very quick grabbing it, and it was too late for me to say something. I think I've used like four or five. Still not many. Still in supermarkets way more than that, and the goal was 0, but it's still solid, and it would be nice if other people made the effort that I make also. So that's environmental. Weight, I want it to be below 221, so I want the scale to read 220 point something at some point this year. My low of the year I think was 236.2, which is more than halfway to that goal. I'm not that low right now, but that was my lowest point, which was more than halfway to that goal based on where I weighed in the first week of the year. So I guess kinda on pace, and we'll see where I am at the end of the year. Definitely have the capability to do it. So got to get back to that low of the year, and then got to lose like 15 more after that or so. So we'll see what's going on with that. Next goal was food. Spending money on food, most flexible expense. So every year I'm cognizant on trying to get that expense down. You know, some things I don't really have control over. I drive cross country, gotta pay for gas. Not a ton of control over how much I pay in gas. Food, a lot of control over that. So I wanted it to be 200 per month, and I wanted the breakdown to be something like 75 on what I called like fancy dinners and 125 on everything else. Actually, the fancy dinners is like 76 and change. That's been pretty good. Either one thing like Texas de Brazil, or maybe like two things like El Dorado, or something like that. That's good. The rest, like the supermarket costs, not quite as low. That's been about $179 per month. So ideally that number would be like 125. So it's like 55 more than I want, which means, you know, per month, those two numbers combined, somewhere around 255, give or take a couple bucks. I want it to be like 200, so not quite there. Guess it is possible. I meet that goal still. Would really need some low months to end the year, but it's possible. And you know, one of the things, I'm not really using comps on food anymore. My plan at Caesar's Properties now is to really save all those comps, and every so often not leave the strip on the weekend. There are some weekends that are as low as like 125, 150 for Friday, and also 125 to 150 for Saturday. So it would be nice to not need to move to an Airbnb on Friday, then move back. It's quite the hassle, actually. I gotta carry my things to my car, then to the Airbnb check-in, back into the house. I need to do the same thing in reverse order on Sunday, so I gotta carry all my stuff 4 times. And it's also 3 round trips. You know, I check out of my room on the strip Friday morning. I gotta go to the Airbnb to check in, come back to the strip to play, back to the Airbnb late Friday to go to sleep, back to the strip Saturday to play, back to the Airbnb Saturday night to sleep, and then Sunday back to the strip. So it's 6 one-ways driving, carrying all my things 4 times. There's time, there's hassle, there's cost of gas, so it would be nice to not need to do that every once in a while. So that's really what I'm doing with Caesars. I'm waiting till I have like 400 or so comps, and then looking to book 1 12-day stay from now on. The 5 weekdays, Sunday through Thursday, also the weekend, and also the next Sunday through Thursday. So 12 days, which only includes 2 weekend days, 1 Friday, 1 Saturday. With some places, I'm just planning like a large fancy dinner. Sahara comps I've been saving for years to go to Bazaar Meats. That is very expensive. Interesting thing is, I saw on Twitter a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that Bazaar Meats is going to be leaving Sahara and going somewhere else. That would be, I mean, I'd still have the comps, but wouldn't be able to use it if Bazaar Meats goes to another casino. But I've been playing there like occasionally for like 2 years, and still don't have enough. I don't need to have the whole amount of the meal, but there's no way I'm spending like $500 on a meal. I need to have a good chunk of it in comps to go there. And then have been using MGM. You know, I get the buffet to go usually, and I get food for like 2 or 3 days. I mix it with the rice in my room. But yeah, I don't play a ton at like Bell. Usually get like 1 or 2 buffets a year. That's about it. And there's actually not a ton of my comps that go towards like everyday meals anymore. So it's a lot of just paying money for food. It could still be low, been going overboard a little bit. Still better than last year though. Last year's average I think was $311 per month. So even though I'm not meeting my goal this year, it's around $255 a month so far. Still a good chunk better than last year. And final goal, I don't want the cigar to go out, hold on. Final goal is cities, part of the channel name. You know, the word nomad is in there. So I wanted 12 cities. I was thinking the other day, how do I count cities? It's not so clear cut. I don't count cities if I'm just driving through for 1 day on the way somewhere else. But if it's a 1-day trip, I do. Okay, so here's the thing. I think it's a little weak to count New York, even though I was there for 2 weeks to start the year, whatever. I didn't really go, like I had been there for like a month. I did the 7 states in 1 day challenge. How many of those cities do I count? I think it's fair to count 2 of those 7. Connecticut, I might be saying a state, not a city, but whatever. 12 areas. I think Connecticut because I was there the day before. I drove to Connecticut, I played at Mohegan, and then the next day in the morning started that challenge. So I played Mohegan twice, and that was like my base for that challenge. So I think it's fair to count Mohegan, and definitely Atlantic City, because I ended in Atlantic City, and then I stayed there for a couple days, and I made more than one video. I showed you where the Wawa is, in case you were gonna take like a week off from work or something, you lived in the area, go to Wawa, go to the Acme supermarket, very close in Brigantine, and fill your room with some snacks and some drinks. So I did more than just like play for a half hour and leave the area. So I think it's fair to count Connecticut, Atlantic City. I stopped a few places really just to sleep on the way to Vegas in January, not count all those places. I think it's fair to count Thackerville, Oklahoma. Even though I wasn't in the area that long, I made a few videos. I made a video about like getting there. I made the video about just my thoughts on the room. Used to be amazing. Unfortunately, losing a lot of business to the Texas card rooms. Still, I would still love to play there for a weekend. Would not make an extended stay there anymore, just because the player pool has decreased so much with all the Texas rooms, but especially the ones in Dallas. And I walked off the best I could. Walked off and estimated the length of the casino floor, which not the 1 or 2 miles people say. I think it's much closer to half. Still very long, but don't let the like the fable and the exaggerations get you. It's not 2 miles long. So I think it's fair to count Thackerville. So that's 3. Also think, you know what? I won't even count it. I was gonna say it was fair to count Kansas because I played an underground session there. Didn't film any of it because of like secrecy purposes, I guess. I mentioned it and I was there, but you know, didn't film a ton. So I think up to 3 so far. Of course, Vegas, been here for most of the year. Vegas is 4. I was in California a couple times. I don't think I filmed much or at all, so that's not fair to count. San Francisco, link at the top to the first San Francisco video. Just flew there, enjoyed the day, did a bunch of things, flew back. That's 5, that definitely counts. I was in Arizona for the weekend, EDC weekend, filmed plenty there, that counts, that's 6. So I guess I'm up to 6. So I guess that's close to on pace. You know, I was up to 6 in May. I haven't gone to another place, and now it's August, but I mean that last place, the Arizona, the Phoenix area, happened in mid-May. So I guess up to 6 on that. So the hours looks very unlikely, the food looks unlikely, but it's possible. The cities will probably happen. I would say the weight loss happens. The bags, not meeting the goal exactly, but still fulfilling the purpose of the goal. So there you have it. It is August. Kind of gave you a mid-year update on the goals I had that I stated for myself in January. And I guess I gotta wait for the whole year to end officially. December or January, I will wrap up the goals for 2024 and tell you which ones I met, which ones I didn't. And remember, rice is a spoon food.